Good Thursday afternoon. Thanks for joining us on Kare 11 News Now. I am Chris Harapsky.
Breaking this afternoon, after weeks of delay, the U.S. House voted to fund most of the Department of Homeland Security, but not its immigration enforcement operations. The bipartisan package is now heading to President Trump's desk. Once signed, it'll be the longest agency shutdown in history and should avoid another round of airport disruptions heading into the busy summer travel season.
Today, the economic impacts of the war with Iran are hitting us harder. Right now, gas prices across the country are still climbing. Here in Minnesota, we're paying about $3.98 per gallon on average. That is a 5-cent jump from yesterday. The national average sitting about $4.30 per gallon right now. The gas price is skyrocketing because of the bottleneck in the Strait of Hormuz. Right now, President Trump is weighing military options to reopen the strait, while adamant the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports is working. The president says the blockade will stay in place until Iran agrees that it will not have a nuclear weapon. Developing right now, Minneapolis police are investigating a crash near 26th and Lyndale's just outside the CC Club bar. You take a look here and you can see two vehicles involved, one of them pushed right up against that iconic bar. You can also see crime tape blocking off the street there. Right now, it's not exactly clear what led to that crash. Also developing right now, Minneapolis police say they're investigating a homicide after finding a man dead inside a home. Officers say they were called to the home on Bryant Avenue North just before 9 o'clock last night for reports of a shooting. They found a 69-year-old man killed by what appeared to be a gunshot wound. They're working to figure out what led up to the shooting, but police say it does not appear to be random. Right now, Minneapolis safety leaders are revealing their plan for public safety this summer, and certain neighborhoods will see a stronger police presence and more officers will be out on the street during bar close. Those chief beats will start on June 5th and go until September 6th. And the goal is to put 30 additional officers on the street every Friday and Saturday night between 6 and 4 in the morning. So 6 at night, 4 in the morning around the bars in Dinkytown, Uptown, and Downtown. Chief says all non-patrol officers from the chief on down will be required to work these shifts without receiving overtime pay.
So they're going to have to take time off from their regular work schedule. Investigators not go to the office sometime during that, or training staff or others, including the chiefs and myself, and then have to staff on straight time those late nights.
City council members largely supported the idea, but there was some concern about the other police work that could be neglected if investigators and leaders are pulled away from their regular duties. The chief says other police work will be affected, but with the budget issues the department is dealing with, he feels this is the best way to put extra officers on the street this summer when they're needed the most. Today, the mastermind of the Feeding Our Future fraud scheme is back in court to address new accusations. Amy Bach, the former executive director of the defunct nonprofit, is accused of orchestrating a leak campaign from jail to minimize her role in the $300 million pandemic scheme. New court documents say Bach directed her son to send hundreds of pages of protected court documents to reporters and GOP lawmakers using a fake name and email address. Turning to sports, Wild and Wolves fans, tonight's your night. Both teams, they got the chance to make Minnesota sports history as they head into Game 6 of their playoff series at home. We'll start on the ice. Puck drop in St. Paul for the Wild, set for 6:30. A win tonight. Minnesota advances to the second round, something this franchise hasn't done in more than a decade. The Wild have dominated Dallas at 5-on-5 play, outscoring the Stars 11-3 throughout 5 games. But history hasn't been on their side. Minnesota's lost both previous playoff matchups against Dallas in 2016 and in 2023. Over to the hardwood, the Wolves are going into Game 6 shorthanded without their starting backcourt. Big issue. New this afternoon, Ayo Dosunmu is now listed as questionable. Going back to Game 5, it really came down to one thing: turnovers. The Wolves gave it away 25 times, and it cost them. But the challenge is real. Still no Anthony Edwards, still no Dante DiVincenzo. It's an uphill battle for the Wolves. They can do it. Tickets right now to get into the Target Center, they cost about $77. Would be the smallest one. Tip-off set for $8:30. As we wrap up Donate Life Month, a powerful story out of Minnesota. Even if you don't remember Vikings cornerback Roniel Whitaker for his play on the field, he just ensured his legacy will live on long after his death. He just saved 4 lives through organ donation. Kent Erdahl spoke to his partner about that incredible gift.
Pro athletes often seem larger than life.
Huge personality.
Roniel Whitaker was no exception.
He was a character.
Lori Charbonneau first met Roniel when he played cornerback with the Vikings from 2006 to 2007, and the two reconnected and began dating 4 years ago.
It's a gift that I got to know him and have a relationship with him for so long.
But in February, it came to a sudden end when Roniel suffered a brain aneurysm.
Unfortunately, it was catastrophic, and he wasn't going to make it.
But before he left, he made one last stop.
There's a major sense of calmness here.
Roniel was transferred to mHealth Fairview's donor care unit because he had more life to give.
Ultimately, our goal is we want to honor the donor and their families, and that means maximizing the gift.
Erin Schodden is nurse manager for the first freestanding donor care unit in the state.
What does having a dedicated space mean?
I think for us, one of the biggest aspects is what we can offer to families with this. They're not dealing with the hustle and bustle of an ICU.
Neither are the care teams. And thanks to a partnership with LifeSource, Schodden says the results speak for themselves. In the first year, the unit helped 38 donors save 142 lives through organ donation. That translates to more than 4 organs per donor.
The national average is 3.2.
And their success with delicate lung transplants is even more impressive.
We are at 65% lung utilization recovery compared to a national average of 20%. So we're really proud of that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just because you can have dedicated teams that can address it?
We feel that that's a big part of it, yes.
Roniel's lungs were among 4 life-saving gifts he ended up making to those in desperate need.
I think about their families and I think about how their health is now, hoping that they're feeling better. He would have been so proud and happy to have helped them. He donated his heart to science as well, so that's pretty amazing.
That could save many more lives.
It could. Just knowing research, it's so important.
And she's beyond grateful it all happened here.
There was a sense of relief that I could visit him here at any time, which I did every day until the end. You know, that was something that I'll always be really happy about.
Thank you, Kent Erdahl, for that story. Lori says that she's been so moved by the care that she received that she instantly became an advocate for organ and tissue donation, and that she hopes that sharing Roniel's story with us will help save even more lives. If you're interested in becoming a donor, we have information for you over at kare11.com. Well, put down the DoorDash app and pick up your car keys. Today, more than 100 restaurants are participating in Dining Out for Life. It is all to help the Aliveness Project, benefiting HIV/AIDS services in our communities. You can find a list of all the participating restaurants at diningoutforlife.org. It's a big day here at Kare 11. All day long, we are saying our goodbyes to the one and only Belinda Jensen as she retires after more than 3 decades at the station. And we begin with Julie Nelson talking about the job that Bell held dearest, chief meteorologist.
33 years ago, Belinda Jensen delivered her first forecast here at Kare 11.
Yeah, the weather's been really good since I've been here. I want to think that I did that, but I'm not really sure.
And night
inch of precipitation
after night,
flurries in the backyard.
Ever since.
Right around 6 degrees.
We looked forward to seeing her smiling face and fabulous coats. No matter how heavy the news of the day, we knew once we turned it over to Belinda, she would just make everything feel lighter.
This is fun.
But it's her commitment to keeping us safe when the weather turned severe that earned our trust and respect.
Belle never really took herself seriously. She took her job seriously.
Longtime mentor and former chief meteorologist Paul Douglas knows Belle took her job to heart, babysitting the radar throughout severe weather season, whether she was working or not, to make sure we were safe when the weather turned dangerous, and refusing to sensationalize it when it wasn't.
You know, there were many times, I know for a fact, that Belinda said, you know, this is not a big deal. Let's not make it a big deal. Hey, this is a big deal. Now is when we should be on the air talking about this.
That combination of integrity, intelligence, and humor made Belle one of the most beloved people to ever work at Kare 11, and why even after seeing her every night for 33 years, we are still not ready to say goodbye.
Belle's influence went far beyond her weather reports. You can join us all day on all of our shows as we look back at Belle's time here at Kare 11. Why today? Well, she's off tomorrow, and then her last shift will be on Saturday for the Saturday morning show. From her favorite moments to some pretty funny ones too, see what we found digging through the old archives at Kare 11 here. Cannot wait for the send-off. It's going to be a big party. Stick with us. More news and weather coming up after